I love every movie in the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. I'm not one of those fans who claims to adore the series while simultaneously lobbing hate at this or that entry. Obviously, there are films in the series I like more than others, so let's not waste time and just get to the ranking. At number 9 is the 2010 remake. I followed the marketing on this film daily until it was finally released in theaters. I loved Watchmen, so I was eagerly anticipating Jackie Earle Haley as Freddy Krueger, and to this day he really doesn't disappoint. The filmmaker's choice to take the movie in new directions is bold and admirable to a degree, but it doesn't really hold up at all, not even on that initial theatrical run. The characters are just so wooden. Rooney Mara's Nancy should really be the beating heart of the film, but instead she's just a colorless ghost that wanders in and out of frame. It's more of the same for her peers. None of the film's teens really have any depth. They all seem like characters from a tweeny WB drama canceled after the pilot. I can always appreciate the 2010 remake for what it is, but it's not a movie I rewatch often. Coming in at number 8 is Freddy vs. Jason. This film should always be included on people's rankings whether you're ranking Freddy or Jason, but I really don't think it's a positive reflection on either franchise. But in terms of A Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy gets top billing, but only one kill. He's sort of delegated to shadowy monologues for most of the film, and when he finally gets sucked into the real world, he's really too busy playing Mortal Kombat with Jason to really be himself. I love Freddy vs. Jason for what it is. It's a fun movie and that's undeniable, but I really can't help but wonder why they chose Ronnie Yu, a director completely uninterested in either franchise, to helm the greatest mashup in horror movie history. He sacrificed everything fans love about Freddy and Jason and instead produced a melodramatic, high-flying horror emulation of his early career in Hong Kong cinema. Ronnie Yu made the movie his own, and I really think that's the main problem. These characters were created by the original filmmakers, but when the movies released and the franchises took hold on audiences, that's when the characters found a new home. Now they belong to the fans, despite what any drooling studio executive might like you to believe. Sure, Freddy vs. Jason made $1 zillion, but it disrespected both franchises on its way to prosperity, and for that it's low on my ranking. That might upset some people, but oh well. At number 7, I have what's often the last spot on most people's list, and that's Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare. I understand wholeheartedly why some people despise this film, but I don't really think it's all that bad. Of course, there's some really odd shit going on. Freddy's somewhat of an honorary Looney Tunes character, lost in an episode of Twin Peaks. Aside from the legendary Yaphet Kotto, the side characters really can't act to save their lives. Still, I think there's a certain charm to Freddy's Dead that's hard for me to ignore after watching it again and again for so many years. Rachel Talalay definitely wasn't the best choice to direct the film, and the script is almost insulting as to how forced and drug-induced it feels. Despite the piles of missteps, I'm the kind of fan who'll take Robert Englund's Freddy over no Freddy at all, even if that means corny, campy, and downright bizarre. At number 6 on my list is Wes Craven's New Nightmare. This one used to be in my top 2. I really do love this film. The meta elements, Freddy as this hulking demon entity, Miko Hughes, Heather Langenkamp, it's all great. I just get the overwhelming feeling that it's missing something when I rewatch it these days. I know this version of Freddy is more of a ghoul lingering between worlds, but I wish they would have refrained from withholding the monster and really turned this new Freddy loose. The best scenes of New Nightmare are when this Neo Freddy's on screen. The massive stature, off-colored sweater, that classic hat paired with the trench coat, it all gives Freddy a sort of horror noir look. Add in the new claws and that meaty makeup, and he becomes something like a cosmic monster. I love how New Nightmare portrays Heather Langenkamp as an actress haunted by the very image of her career's greatest success. It's sort of like a classic Hollywood story hidden within an original horror script, yet another glaring example of Wes Craven's genius. New Nightmare was so far ahead of its time and its greatness is undeniable, but I'm a selfish bastard and I need more Freddy in my life. It's definitely an amazing film, it just holds back a little too much for my liking. Coming in at number 5 I have Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, The Dream Child. Yet another entry that gets a lot of hate cast upon it. Sure, some of the acting isn't great, the script is a bit thin, and there's definitely some weird tonal shifts and unusual editing choices, but overall, I have a lot of fun with The Dream Child. There's a good amount of camp and cheese, but also some nasty gore and visceral body horror. Number 5 has some unforgettable imagery like little baby Freddy or Freddy's weird hand. If not for the MPAA's wicked cheers, I think the brutal kills alone would help move this film up on a lot of people's lists. It's obviously far from perfect, but it's a lot more fun than people are willing to admit. Although number 1 on my list has remained unchanged for many years, 2 through 4 constantly switch places. As of right now, number 4 on my list is A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4: The Dream Master. This film is dripping with 80s charisma. It perfectly balances humor, horror, and downright weird shit, which makes the film infinitely rewatchable. Renny Harlin's film is one of those rare sequels that has no right to be as good as it is, and when you measure the greatness of the first 3 films, it's hard to imagine a 4th entry that could successfully continue that trend. But Dream Master really holds its own. Sure, the film has some odd flaws and cringe moments, but I think it's incredibly entertaining and charming in a strange, ghoulish way. It's a little bittersweet to see Freddy's comedic side take over in this entry. That's one of the main reasons I don't rank number 4 higher on the list. At number 3, I have A Nightmare on Elm Street 3: Dream Warriors. I know most fans have this one at the top of their list, and I don't disagree with them at all. Freddy's arguably at his best here, the side characters are great, the writing in Part 3 is definitely the best in the series, and the practical effects are nothing short of incredible. Dream Warriors is so close to a perfect film. I have nothing negative to say about it. I love all the kills, characters, effects, music. I literally have no good reason not to rank it at number 1. I just love the 2 movies ahead of it more. That's it. In the number 2 spot, I have Wes Craven's 1985 masterpiece. The characters, the effects, the music, the atmosphere, I love every bit of it. Nightmare on Elm Street is a twisted fable, almost a dark fairy tale at times. Nancy Thompson is an iconic heroine of genre cinema, right up there with the likes of Sarah Connor and Ellen Ripley. Robert Englund delivers a legendary performance that cemented Freddy as one of cinema's most terrifying monsters, and I can't imagine what the genre would be like without his performance. Although many aspects of the movie haven't exactly aged well, I still think it's a phenomenal achievement in independent filmmaking. It's an absolute champion of the horror genre. There's just one movie in the franchise that I like a bit more. My favorite Nightmare on Elm Street film is Part 2: Freddy's Revenge. It breaks all the rules written by the first film, it flips the final girl tradition on its head, and it just so happens to be dripping with homoerotic subtext. Talk about a movie that gives zero fucks. Freddy is at his absolute best in terms of makeup design and the sinister charisma of Robert Englund's performance. I love the body horror of Part 2, the gore and kills are masterful as always, and the atmosphere of Part 2 is definitely the darkest of the franchise. I know a lot of fans can't get behind the film's circumvention of previously established lore, but I think there's a lot of power in subverting expectations, and Part 2 does that numerous times throughout the movie. Out of all the films in the franchise, I've rewatched this one the most, about 2 to 3 times per year since I was 14. I hope anyone who dislikes Part 2 eventually gives it another shot, because it's far better than many fans of the series make it out to be. I think it's really the best of all. So that's my Nightmare on Elm Street ranking. Do you like my list? Do you hate it? Let me know in the comments below. Feel free to share your own ranking. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay safe out there.